We're moments away from making history. The Frenchman, Sebastien Loeb, is one stage away from becoming the best rally driver the sport has ever seen. He's one stage away from winning his 8th title in 8 years. But this season has been hard fought. It began with Mikko Hirvonen's victory in Sweden. But from there, it looked like the title race would be Loeb and Sebastien number 2, Ogier, as the pair traded wins over the next 8 events. In Australia, in September, the season was turned on its head. Both Loeb and Ogier crashed on the opening day. Hirvonen snatched a much-needed win. Loeb then retired in France with engine failure. Ogier won and was suddenly within touching distance of Loeb and Hirvonen. It was now a three-way fight for the championship. Ogier dropped out after engine failure in Spain destroyed his chances of winning a first-ever title. Loeb took the win and, crucially, a point from the power stage to give himself an 8-point cushion over Hirvonen, coming to Wales for the last event of 2011. So where is the power stage this year? Well, the rally is based in Builth, Wales, in the heart of Wales, 60 miles north of Cardiff. And our power stage is called Monument. It's part of the Epping Ranges and it's 2.5 miles long. And I'm very glad to say that in the Powerstage studio this Remembrance Sunday is the 3 times British champion Mark Higgins. Mark, you're very welcome.
Thanks, John.
Don't you just love Wales?
I like to be there. Yeah, no, it's a great rally, very tough, good, you know, always difficult conditions as well.
Yeah, and as often happens, you know, you have 2 title contenders go into the last round and there's so much to play for and they both go and throw it off. We'll come to that in just a second.
Yeah.
It could have been such a wonderful place for Mikko Hirvonen, a guy who was 8 points behind in the championship. He needed to win this rally, he needed to win the power stage, but had one of those Mikko Hirvonen moments.
He started so well, though, John, didn't he? You know, he really did. He put the pressure on, he took the lead, and then quite a small mistake, really. And unfortunately, he paid the big price. He got a hole in the radiator, and the engine eventually went pop. And there's no compression there at all, that engine. And unfortunately, that's going to be hard for Super Rally as well.
This is a man who can hear his world championship, his opportunity disappearing.
Yeah. I mean, they're doing everything they can now.
Sorry, guys. That's the end of it.
And the irony is, Mark, that there he was on stage 6 of this event on Friday. He had taken the lead off Sebastien Loeb, and everybody in Wales said, yes, this is the moment for Mikko Hirvonen, and on stage 7 it's finished.
Well, he really found his form again on this rally because he hasn't quite had it for the last few. He's not been able to take the fight to Sebastien. He had it here, he took the lead, and then, you know, that happened. But when you're pushing as hard as he must have been pushing, these things can happen. And I do think he was unlucky. It was a very, very small hole in the radiator, and that's cost him his rally.
So that meant Sebastien Loeb could sit back, have a little cruise, enjoy himself, and here he is on Friday afternoon and Saturday, knowing that the World Championship for the 8th time was in the bag.
Yeah, and finish on a win as well. Perfect.
Oh, we'll come to finish on a win in just a second. But up until this point, with Mikko's dramas, everything was going well for him.
Yeah, it was. It was just typical Seb rally. You know, he had it under control.
More champagne?
More champagne, yeah, he's used to that.
And they love him that much that they've given him a new contract, so he's saying he'll do it again next year and he'll do it again the year after that. But even the great man has his moments, everybody, because on the road section coming out of it, what was the first stage of the day today, this happened. What's going on here, Mark?
Well, it's happened again. It happened to Seb last year, wasn't it, in Jordan? They've collided, and what a way to end your rally.
The world champion and a guy in a car collide on a road section, and apparently Citroën are trying to get the car back to Parc Fermé and to Cardiff so that he can be there for the ceremonial finish, because of course he wants to celebrate his championship. Yeah. But he had to come up with this excuse in order to tell us what exactly happened on the road there.
It happened that on the road section it came a car in front and I went on the side, but we are in England and he's not English, so he went on the wrong side and we crashed. So it was not a big impact, but in the front radiator is very open, so now the water is coming out and it's finished.
Terminal.
Yeah, well, isn't it ironic that both contenders both have holes in the radiators, but two very different stories?
What a way to finish a World Championship.
Yeah, I know, very disappointing.
I looked at that and thought he has managed to neatly reverse it into that passing place. And
what are you saying, John?
Well, I just wonder over the days and weeks it might be discovered that it wasn't quite according to that, but the other car was coming towards Seb and Danny, said the guys from Citroën, and was on the wrong side of the road. But, you know, this was a man who was heading to Cardiff with more champagne and a great end to the season. Yeah, I mean, your concentration, he's thinking about getting everything ready for service. He would have been going down the road. And normally on those tight roads, they're pretty well closed off to the general public anyway. So until you get onto the wider sections, it was very narrow there. I think it's very unlucky. And what a shame, really. It is, and therefore neither of the title contenders that started on the Great Orme on Thursday and were both going for the championship will take any poison this weekend. So the championship looks like this, and there will be no change to those top two. It's Sebastien Loeb's championship number 8, 222, with 67 rally wins to his name, and Mick O'Herman in second again with 214 points as it was, heading towards the Great Orme on Thursday night. I wonder what Mick O'Herman is thinking now, having seen what happened to Sebastien this morning. Could he have won it? I think, thankfully for him, he couldn't have, because with Super Rally points, if he had taken that, he would have had a 20-minute penalty. He still had to get a ruck of points to be ahead of Sebastien anyway. But, you know, it's all about if-onlys, unfortunately, and if you start thinking like that, it's going to be a sorry day, isn't it? Yeah, you really will be calling the therapist. Sebastien Ogier, who has given us great entertainment this season, is on the phone to the therapist, because his rally was, what, 40 seconds old when this happened? Yeah, and here they are, you know, they're on gravel tyres. The car's moving around a lot more than it would do from the previous tarmac rally, and he's just caught the rock there. Anywhere else, that may have been a bit softer, but that's a rock face, and that's going to hurt. It's a mess. An utter mess. So our rally leader, as we head to the power stage, is Jari Matti Latvala, and so many times this season we've said he goes fast, there's a world champion, but then he's had a mistake. Yeah, but I think he's definitely calmed down over the last, you know, half of the season. He's been very mature, he's done a great team job, and I really hope he does get the win here. He does deserve it. He's given away some great positions to his teammates and been a big team player. So, no, I think it's time for him to have a win. OK, a little error just coming up here. But maybe 6 months ago he would have chucked it into the corner and hit the trees. Yeah. So he did the right option there. So he's a more mature man as a result of coming to the end of the 2011 championship. And the best placed Brit as we go into this power stage might just find his way on the power stage podium, and that is Chris Meek, who's in 4th place with Matt Wilson behind him in 5th. But there's only 1.8 seconds between Chris Meek in the Mini and Henning Solberg in 3rd. This could be exciting. I think this is going to be really good. OK, very unlucky little spin, and everybody's having problems on this event, but we're going down to the power stage, 1.8. He's been catching Henning all the way through the rally today. So I think he's got a really good chance, and it'll be great for Mini in the UK to get a podium. There's lots of work had to be done yesterday, and they were a little nervous, but they got him out and got him in position where he needs to be. Yeah, and I think he deserves it, you know, apart from that little... He had time lost yesterday, there are a few issues with the car, so they can come back and get that podium. That'll be fantastic, and hopefully give them another injection to get back and get a sponsor for next year. Exactly. Yeah. And they're kind of ahead of things for next season, because this was all experimental for Mini. So how will Chris Meek do? Let's go to our power stage and join our commentators, Julian Porter and Paul King.
It's a very different-looking leaderboard as we head on to the final stage of 2011. Latvala's lead now stands at more than 3 minutes, almost 4 minutes, in fact, with Osberg second, and Meek now just 2 seconds behind Solberg in the fight for the final podium position. So let's have a closer look at this power stage. The first 1.5 kilometres winds around this flowing forest road. But once the cars leave the forest, the speeds will really pick up as they head into this almost moorland area. The last 2.5 kilometres is the fastest section. The cars will be at top speed here. It includes this big jump. A tricky left-hander immediately follows the jump. They need to get the landing right there. A last couple of sweeping bends, and then there's a 90 left to scrub up some speed as they enter the flying finish before the final sprint for glory at the finish line. And we have quite a lineup for you on the last stage of 2011. Ever the showman, Ken Block will be our first car in. Then comes Armindo Arrojo's Mini, followed by the super rallying Danny Sordo and Sebastien Ogier. Expect a charge from them. Evgeny Novikov is back in a Ford. The Russian starts ahead of Oit Tanak, who's been sensational on his WRC debut. Dennis Kuipers is having his best ever run on gravel, and Matt Wilson will hope to impress on his home event, as will Chris Meek, the leading Mini driver. Henning Solberg is on course for his best result of the year. He starts just ahead of his M Sports Stobart teammate and compatriot Mads Osberg, then our rally leader, Ford's Jari-Matti Latvala. So we're back on gravel for the final power stage of the season, and Monument is a terrific way to finish the 2011 season, isn't it?
It is, yeah, just looking at that leaderboard there. 8 Fords and 2 Minis in the top 10 at the minute. No Citroens on there, which is a very rare thing, but Ken Block on the line. It's been a tough and tricky rally. Beautiful sunshine today, but this rally notorious for its conditions, and it has caught people out. Ken Block fan there, and Ken is in now to the stage. Be pleased, another points finish on offer here.
Yeah, we are back underway in Wales, and it's quite some stage here to finish. Ken Block was very spectacular through the first run in here this morning. And yet, it's been a really good finish to the season for Ken, as you said, on course for another point-scoring finish. Terrific run for the Monster World Rally Team driver, and you get an idea just how sweeping the start of this stage is in the forest.
Also sweeping, as well as being sweeping, it's very cambered as well in places. Now, the last couple of days during the stage, we've been on the second pass, hearing drivers saying that it's much, much slippier second time. Obviously, the winning stage time this morning was Mr. Ogier, 2:41.9. Will we be quicker or not in the second pass? We're not sure. Historically, normally as the road cleans, we are, but what it's doing here is the mud is being polished on the top of the stones, making it really difficult. You can see the line there. It's not cleaning like a traditional gravel rally, like a hot Sardinia or Greece or something like that.
It's actually drying out a lot compared to this morning. There was a lot of really damp patches. We're seeing much more loose gravel drive. A bit of a bump at the edge of the road. Ken having to sort of swing back with the momentum of the car there. It could have been nasty.
Just running slightly wide, wasn't he, off the line? But you can see some of these cambered corners just there as he drops in. He's changed his tyres on the road section. He's got definitely a new one on the front left. As much grip as he can possibly have.
Yeah, look at this view from above. Get a real idea. Look at this scenery in central Wales. This is typical Rally GB territory, and this is why it's one of the most sensational rallies of the year. These are also some of the quickest stages you'll see. Nice and tidy, as you say, dipping into the camber there.
It's a tough rally. It's historically known as being tough, and that's the conditions, the speed of the stages. They are really, really good stages. And as he heads past towards down the jump, it's really quick on the straight before the jump. But Ken was big over the jump this morning, just got slightly out of line on it as he landed. You can just see there, that's a corner where he just gets beautiful camber on the exit. That's really committed. Tanak there this morning was really supreme. Yeah, it's big commitment.
Get a little bit rutted in there as more and more cars pass as well. But we know Ken's on course for a second point-scoring finish of the year after a personal best 8th in France. But let's have a look at him over the jump. Oh! Goodness me. Well, we only just sort of missed the landing, but he was again making a couple of corrections. It's pretty tight when you get to the left-hander immediately afterwards. You get your line a little bit wrong over that jump. You've really got to get it sorted out before that tight left-hander, haven't you?
That's it, and into the finish here. But he was long jump. That was a long jump.
I think he's going to be quicker than that time from Ogier. Slight technical gremlins with our timings up here in the mountains this morning. We may have a slight delay till we get the times. Let's have a look at that jump.
Again, he did the same again this morning. Just seemed to be letting the car drift over to the left-hand side as he comes down the hill. But, how do you say, got to get it sorted out before he has to start braking heavily for that final corner, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's it. You get your line a little bit wrong and crossed up in the air. There's not much you can do about it once your wheels aren't touching the ground.
No, that's it. You can't do anything. Obviously, when you land, whichever way the wheels are pointing, you head off.
Anyway, strong finish to the year for Ken Block. Had his problems in 2011, but he'll be delighted to get a couple of point-scoring finishes under his belt to finish the season. And we can't wait to see him back in 2012. Co-driver Alex Gelsomino alongside him there. Back on the start line, Armindo Arrojo. first of our mini John Cooper works. Armindo, the Portuguese driver in the privately entered car, double PWRC champion, of course. He again has had his problems this weekend, but with the late retirements that we've seen today for Sebastien Loeb, Armindo's now popped up into the point scoring places. He's coming in here in 10th place.
I'm positive I've just heard a time on the team scanner for block 2:46.2. I'm sure that's what was said. Obviously, in all the noise of the rally car, it doesn't come out 100% clear, but I think that's what I heard. But Armindo, he struggled all weekend. He said to me on Friday night, we need to change the setting. He said to me Saturday lunchtime, we need to change it again. Last night he said, we have been all around the perfect position, but never hit it. And he struggled like mad, which is disappointing, because he's had some encouraging runs in this car.
Yeah, it's his 7th drive in the Mini WRC, and he has begun to find some form in the second half of the season. Finished 8th in Germany, was on course to claim 7th in France till he crashed out. It's his 5th start in Rally GB. He's finished 9th here 2 years ago in a Group N Mitsubishi. Not quite going to do that here, but he should finish in the points in 10th. Great to see the first sight of the mini John Cooper works with that distinctive sounding twin exhaust. Let's have a listen as he passes. Does sound good, doesn't it? I'll tell you what, a lot of rocks being thrown up in some of these.
That's it. Well, second pass, obviously 60-odd cars through this morning, so it's going to just be a little bit rougher. But I think some of Armindo's problem potentially this weekend is this uniqueness of the slippy surface we have in GB. Rally GB, it's just very calm over the jump there, very calm. I think Ken obviously really trying to kind of like showmanship in there. If you can't win the stage, he wants to win the long jump award for sure. But Armindo very near the end of the stage now. He's got these beautiful 2 corners, real big camber. You see the car dip in there, and then it dips again in, and you can see how much the camber is from the camera. You lose half the car in that dip.
Yeah, a nice sweeping bend through the flying finish. Again, apologies for the lack of times at the moment. We're a bit remote up here in the mountains. We'll try and keep you as up to date as we can when we hear these times coming through. Danny Sordo, first of our works cars. He's down in 22nd place coming into this stage. Remember, Danny crashing out back on Friday's stages. He really wasn't getting to grips with the slippery, wet conditions. So a slightly frustrating one for Danny, but it's still very early days for this new mini team, and every kilometre finished is gathering valuable data for the team.
It's a rarity for Sordo to make a mistake. Me and him yesterday were trying to work out when he last kind of went off with an accident as such, you know what I mean, actually going off the road. And 2:50.2 is Araújo's time. 2:50.2 is what I'm hearing on the team scanner.
Oh, there we go, there's confirmation, yeah. Araújo 4 seconds down on block. The American with the time to beat at the moment. I was going to say, it's surprising, really, that Danny has struggled in GB. He's finished on the podium here twice before, in 2008 and 2009, when he was driving for Citroën. But, well...
It's a tough rally.
Yeah,
it's a tough rally.
Might have not gone for him this weekend, but he really has been a star for the mini team this year. Already got 2 podium finishes under his belt on the tarmac earlier. And, well, there his teammate, Chris Meek, we're going to see him shortly, and he could, in this very last stage, claim another podium finish for what's been a tremendous start for this new team.
It is. They're showing big pace. I mean, Sordo here on his way down through. You can see how shiny that surface is. That's where they struggle in the braking areas, and particularly yesterday, Latvala, on that first stage of the morning, that happened to him.
Yeah, and Danny, well, he's got nothing to lose. We've seen him get Powerstage points before. He might as well give it a go in here. See if we can't see a couple of these John Cooper Works machines getting some extra points here in the Powerstage is what it's all about. Ooh, quite close to the edge on the left there. I thought he was going to clip the verge for a second. Just managed to correct it in time.
You've got to remember the last Powerstage run in Spain, it was a Mini 1-2.
Yep, very true.
I love that section.
Yeah,
it's really cool. It just dips in. And
very much like New Zealand, isn't it? And look at the view from up here. Stunning scenery. Listen. Love the sound of this car. Let's watch Danny over the jump. Whoa, that was bigger than this morning. I think he's going for it, you know.
He wants to end of the season on a high. He's got to get it stopped down here. That's the most difficult thing. Big rock on the inside to stop them from cutting the corner. Let's see what he can do. We're on a 2:46.2 is the quickest time so far.
Yeah, last couple of sweeping corners.
Just
into
on
the flying finish. Oh, he's using all the road.
And a bit more.
What's Danny going to do here? Well, we think he's definitely quicker than that time from Ken Block, so we believe that. Let's have a look at Danny over the jump. Massive, massive air from the Spaniard. He was very tentative over there this morning, but he's having none of it there. Huge jump.
What's interesting there is the Mini, I think this morning, Sordo's car was really high on the nose, so obviously calmed the jump down a little bit and went longer, but not as high, you know what I mean? Kind of like got the length, but they always say when you're 2:44.0 for Sordo.
Yeah, there's confirmation. Danny's the time to beat. Terrific time. 2.2 seconds quicker than Ken Block. Ogier in the final point scoring place at the moment. But back on the start line, this man could be one to watch in here. Sebastien Ogier. Well, he's become the forgotten man this weekend, but it was only a couple of rallies ago. He was still in the championship hunt, wasn't he?
Well, he was still in the championship hunt. I mean, Ogier has been supreme this year, really. When you think first time in a full factory car for him, yeah, he's been in the junior team for Citroën, but he's been absolutely brilliant and just carrying so much speed in there. But Ogier, yeah, he was in this championship fight till a couple of rallies ago and went wrong in Spain and then went wrong again in GB. So you'd like to just finish his season, I think, with a Powerstage victory. Good record on the Powerstage this year, 3 wins, taking 14 points from his performances in Sunday's Powerstages.
It is bizarre, really, isn't it? The top 3 in the championship, all sort of either out of the running or way down the order. I think Ogier's in 12th place coming in here. Obviously super rallying after that scary accident he had on the Great Orme on the very first stage of the weekend. Terrific view again as Ogier makes his way over the top of the hill. Big power slide through that left-hander.
Ogier's been pushing on like today more than anything. I think in the Powerstage this morning, first run, he was quickest. He was wanting to assess how he could go because I have to be honest, he's been lacking so little motivation this weekend. Saying a couple of times at stage ends that I just have no motivation to be a beautiful slide through that section there.
And I wonder, will this be the last time we see Sebastien Ogier in a Citroën? Lots of rumours about the future of this young man.
Lots of rumours about all sorts of people. We may know some more this afternoon. I don't know.
Sebastien over the jump. Yeah, no, I think they're all giving it a go. Oh, I wish we had some markers out there like a ski jump. Be interesting to see who is running the highest.
So yeah, we need like little markers painted on the road, don't we? Yeah. Tell you what, some of these guys are probably further than some of the ski jumpers.
Here we go, into the flying finish.
It's a beautiful, there's some lovely sections of corners. The drivers will love these sections.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait for our leaderboard to pop up to get confirmation of Sebastien Ogier's time, but I tell you what, that looked mighty impressive to me.
Well, this morning he was the winning time, as we said earlier, 2:41.9. Here he goes over the jump. As you say, it's long. They're not massively high, but they're long.
Well, it's a bit of a downhill run. Look at that. Huge jump.
As Evgeny Novikov comes into the stage. Obviously, this man, the last time we saw him was in a Citroën at the S3 for Spain. He'd been renting for one rally to assess the difference of both cars. Now in the Abu Dhabi coloured car, which is obviously normally driven by Khalid Al-Qasimi. I'm trying to think. But Khalid obviously currently in Abu Dhabi for the Grand Prix.
Yeah, there's confirmation anyway, as we expected. Ogier now has the time to beat 2:41.3. Well, it's the same time that he set this morning. So that is the time to beat. Sordo's still there in the top 3, as is Ken Block, as we watch Evgeny Novikov, as you say, running this rally for the Ford Abu Dhabi squad.
Obviously going to score points in replace of Khalid, so he... Again, a mature drive by Novikov. He's really kind of like starting to understand, I think, that to finish first you've got to finish. And keep putting it in the boonies just doesn't work.
Yeah, I wonder how much this experience of having the veteran co-driver, you won't like me calling him that, but the veteran co-driver, Denis Girardet, alongside him. He first took on Rally GB 14 years ago, alongside 94 world champion Didier Auriol. I wonder how much this experience is starting to pay off for Evgeny, as you say. 2 different cars on these last 2 rounds of the year, and after, well, an accident-prone year, let's say, he's on course to claim 2 points finishes in the final 2 rounds in 2 different cars.
Genny powering his way through the stage. I think this guy's got a bright future. We're not really sure where he's going to be again next year. As we said, he drove a Citroen in the Spain rally and now back in the Ford. Done most of the season in the Ford, so where will the Russian rubles go? We're not really sure. This is this section that I love. He's really wide, he's really wide, he's off! He's off!
How on earth did he survive that? He was right up on the bank.
He was out of the line on the way in,
Wow.
onto the loose, and straight into the ditch.
Just when we were saying this man's gained some composure, well, he's only recently turned 21. He's still prone to the odd ones. Let's have a look over the jump. Well, that near miss hasn't scared him off too much.
He hasn't even marked the side of that car with that high-speed excursion.
How on earth did he get away with that? I'll have to have another look at that in a moment.
I kind of waiting for it to kind of ricochet back off the bank and back out into the road. But he just was a glancing blow, I think.
Another really wide. Oh, he's made it through, I think. Yeah, he's into the finish. Well done, Evgeny. Denis Girardet will breathe a sigh of relief.
There's a smile
on his face. Well, even Denis Girardet smiling. Let's have another look. Talk us through this.
He's just really wide on the line, and he's heading towards power on, and fair play. Fair play. As soon as he started to go, he's on the throttle now to take himself back through.
Yeah,
But a bit of a moment, it would have given him a scare.
Yeah, the banner there said visit Wales, and he was almost visiting the Wales countryside with rather too much of a close-up view. But he got away with that.
That was very, very...
Evgeny is slower, unsurprisingly.
I'm sure he will be slower with that time. Not that time, sorry, but that...
Yeah, there's confirmation. Unsurprisingly, after that wild moment, Novikov down there in 4th place. Ogier still the time to beat, 2:41.3.
I think here in the stage now is one of the drivers of the weekend, Mr. Tanak. We've seen how good he is in Super 2000. Some drivers just excel when they step up, and some struggle. This man has excelled in this car this weekend. Tell you what, this is a scary thought for the future, how good he has been on his first run.
He had a chat to Malcolm Wilson before the event. He confirmed that M Sport have signed this young man up for a sort of semi-long-term deal. He's certainly a star of the future. Been under the wing of former Ford driver Marco Martin, of course, for some time. Came really close to winning the SWRC Championship this season. There's Sebastien Ogier and Julien Ingrassia watching on. I think they could be stood there a while. It's pretty impressive.
They might need the coats out soon.
Yeah, it's actually a lovely day in Wales today. Beautiful sunshine.
Yeah, beautiful sunshine. Still a bit chilly though.
Is that the same corner?
No,
No. This is the really interesting thing about Monument. There really are some incredible corners that can catch you out.
He's going to spill. Well held, but that's probably lost him a chance at the power stage.
Yeah.
Again, like Novikov, as the back end went out, you hear them floor the throttle. Point the wheels where you want to go and floor the throttle, because the front end will drag you out. You know what I mean? If you look where you want to go, when you're looking where you want to go, you tend to turn the steering wheel that way, you plant the throttle, and you end up, in theory, heading to where you want to be. I'll tell you what, this is a bit of a wild ride from Novikov.
That switchback there, it's getting really, really rutted in there, isn't it? You can see it getting more and more dug out with every passing car, but yeah, what a drive this has been from Ott Tanak, on course for a 6th place finish. He had his one moment yesterday. Other than that, it's been a near faultless display. Good job too from Calder Sick. Let's watch him over the jump. Ooh, another slightly crossed up landing. This is getting more and more interesting. Some of these guys over that jump are really on the ragged edge. But it's been a committed display, as he said, from Tanak. It's been maybe a little bit too wild to trouble that time from Ogier, but quite some drive from the young Estonian this weekend. And he's through to claim
he's definitely slower, because we saw Ogier's time flick by. So, but that moment that Ogier had, that would be a couple of seconds just in that car as it drifted around. But some car controls to keep it back. And D-Mac's first ever World Championship points and the first run in a World Rally car, so credit to them as well.
Yep, came here with a new gravel tyre, and it certainly went well. And you saw how close he was to... They're living on the edge, but he's quite a driver. We saw him have a couple of incidents in the SWRC that might have cost him the championship, but he's a young man, he'll learn, and he's certainly a star of the future. We'll watch his career with interest.
So unfortunately for him yesterday, his moment was by correcting a pace note. He was trying to do the best thing possible, just got a corner. So
confirmation that Voigt was slower than Ogier. Back on the start line, Dennis Kuiper's lost a bit of time today. Not sure why. Not used to seeing him in this livery either, are we?
No. The Firm Power Tools team did a competition. You could design the design of the car and the colour scheme and everything for this weekend, and that was done. The orange, obviously, I believe, representing the Dutch nation, and there's a different wacky colour scheme on it.
Yep, and there's confirmation then. Ogier still the man to beat, 2:41.3. Sordo still in the top 3. Oh, and Tanak did slot in to the third fastest time. He's 4.1 down on Ogier. They're the men in the point-scoring places at the moment. Ken Block's been bumped out now. And let's see what the Flying Dutchman Dennis Kuipers can do. Let's have a listen to the pace notes from Belgian co-driver Frederik Mouclot.
200, 200, links 15, links 15, 60, stop met de vol, wordt rechts vol, 100, links 22 plus.
Kuipers there on full attack mode. It's so quick. It is so quick. That was that corner which just nearly caught Tanak out. A lot of talent to get that back. And obviously 2 people so far having moments, Novikov and Tanak. Let's see what Dennis Kuipers can do. Let's listen to the little notes again.
Links vol na top, 150. Lange top met de vol, om rechts 10 diep snijden, om 20, links 15 binnen snel. Rechts 10 diep snijden, om 20, links 15 binnen. Snel, 150. Links vol binnen, om rechts vol over top, 250.
He's heading down towards the jump.
Om rechts vol over top.
How's the Dutch going to give us a bit of an analysis of the pace notes?
Jumps, yeah, obviously in Dutch they still use jumps. I'm good at that. That's about all I can manage, but here he goes over it.
Oh, nicely done. Very tidy. Certainly a lot tidier than some of the jumps we've seen over there.
So got to stay in the middle of the road on takeoff, because it just seems, the road just seems to kind of move away to the right, and they keep landing right on the edge of the left, to be fair.
It starts to drift downhill there as well, doesn't it? And it's pretty much a downhill couple of power slides. He's in the flying finish.
Corner.
Yeah, he's already slower. You can see that 2:41.3 was the time from Ogier. He's not going to trouble that. Well, he's made history already this year by finishing 5th, the best ever finish for a Dutchman. Look at him over the jump, nice and tidy. Straight line, that's the way to do it.
It's amazing watching the suspension, and the shock was always kind of compounding all that force.
Yeah, and that will be Dennis's best ever finish on gravel as well. We've seen him do well on tarmac, but that's a 7th place finish, I believe, on gravel. That's his best on the loose stuff. And there's confirmation that, well, he didn't get into the top 3 either. Ogier still the time to beat, with Sordo and Tanak still the men in those top 3 positions.
Surprisingly, he was at the end of the line there, really, but he wanted to get through, I think, more than anything.
Anyway, this is local driver Matt Wilson. Been a good weekend for him. Hasn't quite been able to get on the top times of the leaders, but even so, it's been another strong run on his home event. It's his 8th attempt at Rally GB. Got more experience here than many others. Finished 6th here twice before, and he's on course to beat that, currently running in 5th.
Yeah, Matthew saying yesterday and the day before, really just struggling a little bit with this surface and polishing up, running just a bit further down the order, you know what I mean, 7th, 8th on the road, really struggling on the grip, but loving yesterday's stages more than the stages on Friday, so we'll see how he can perform through the power stage, as he's got 4.36 Ks to go before the 2011 season's over. It's not just the end of the rally, it's the end of the season this afternoon.
Sebastien Ogier still watching on at the stop control just after the stage finish. What's nice to see as well this weekend with Matt Wilson here, and we're about to see Chris Meek soon after in the Mini. That's 2 Brits in the top 5 on Rally GB, and it's been quite a while since we could say that.
Look at Matthew really hurling the car in, setting it up way early to like power slide it through there. Big, you could see there, because that camera, you look straight through the windscreen, big handfuls of opposite lock. But yeah, a while ago since we had 2 Brits in the top 5 on Rally GB. Well, a while since we had 2 Brits in top 5 on any World Rally, and this weekend could be the start of something.
Yeah.
That's Novikov's corner.
Nicely done.
He just got that back. He was starting to go out of the ruts.
He's in determined mood here. I tell you what, I think Matt could trouble the top 3 times. He's giving it a real go here.
He's really hustling that car.
Yeah, you could see the concentration on his face there. He wants to put on a show for the home fans as well. Let's watch him over the jump. That's a good indication. Nice and tidy. Normally a good indication how hard they're pushing, but going the longest isn't necessarily the quickest way over these jumps.
trying to slow the car down there. He's just running in that ditch again.
Dug in a little bit on the outside.
He's really pushing hard. He's maybe just driving a little bit too sideways.
2:41.3 the time to beat. I don't think he's going to do that, but he might sneak into the top 3. Find out in a second.
Maybe just a little sideways compared to the likes of Ogier, but I tell you what, it looked good. It really did look good. Maybe not quite as quick as what it would be, but it did look good. Shaking of hands there for Scott and Matt as they finish the stage. Look at the that's in the air. You see how they're kind of like in free fall, isn't it?
Yeah. No, nice.
Not a very long jump, but you see what you keep saying. You need to be on the ground to be powering forward.
Yeah. Well, Matt, best ever finish on his home event, and I'm sure he'll be happy with that. Oh, there it is. Confirmation. He did sneak into the top 3. I thought he might have done. 4 seconds behind Ogier with Sordo still there in second. Good drive from Matt. Currently in a power stage point scoring spot. But there are still a few more.
Well, the next one up is not just paddling for the power stage. He is trying to wrestle third place. He's 1.8 seconds behind third place. Meek in fourth, 1.8 seconds ahead of him. It's Henning Solberg in third. If he wins the power stage, he could take the third place as well. There's pressure on for both of these guys now, and Meek has been hunting Henning down. It's easier to be the hunter than the hunted.
Yeah, and let's not forget, Whoa, he spun! Really dug in. Well, that's ruined his chances of third place. Just hit a rut, bounced out. Well, that's really frustrating for Chris. You just see it getting more and more rutted in some of these corners in these drier conditions. I hope he's not picked up any damage there. It would be horrible to see him. Is that not a damage at the rear right? I hope not, because he's been so quick today. As you say, hunting down Henning Solberg all day. But is that podium chance gone on the very last stage?
It was just... I don't know whether he's on it again now.
Don't push. 80.
Yeah, listen to Paul Nagel here.
Right over crest, okay, 100 to dip, stop, 20 left, tighten to 1 left, keep very in. 460. 150.
It looks like he's backing off, doesn't it?
Long 6 right, 100. Line. Into.
Well, that's a real shame. Obviously, we saw Chris claim his first ever power stage victory last time out in Spain on the tarmac. But that's a real shame. Is that going to end his hopes of a power stage point? I'm sure it will, but...
It just, I mean, since then, I don't know whether he's... I mean, he's still going quickly, but he just doesn't seem to be 100% committed.
I thought I caught Paul Nagel saying don't push, but I might have imagined that.
Well, he had to make up 1.8 seconds. It's only 4.3 Ks, and you know what I mean? You've dropped 5 or 6 in the half spin. You had to reverse, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and he doesn't want to risk throwing away 4th place, which alone would be a terrific result for Chris on his home event. Remember, he's hadn't actually scored a WRC point before Spain. So it's been a terrific end to the season for Chris after what had been a frustrating first few rallies in the Mini John Cooper Works. Disappointing end for Chris.
It was a great drive today, powering his way back up.
Yeah, look, he's well off the pace, a good 10 seconds slower than Ogier. That's really frustrating.
It wouldn't surprise me if there was a punch of the steering wheel. Yes!
Yeah.
Did I know that was coming?
Oh, he
gave it everything.
He wanted it so much. Yeah, it's a real shame. He was desperate to achieve that podium finish on home soil. Let's have another look.
He just gets stuck in there. You see in that rut, and he just stops it. When you've got to reverse a rally car, you know what I mean? It's 5 or 6 seconds. It's more than that, really, because the momentum's gone and everything. So, unfortunately for Meek...
Yeah, disappointment for the British fans as well, that he doesn't even appear in the top 6 there. That's heartbreaking for Meek. But another strong finish in the Mini John Cooper Works. 4th place on home soil. And this team are going to be very, very interesting to watch their progress in 2012, because they really have been outstandingly quick in their first few rallies of 2011. And let's have a look what Henning Solberg can do. As you say, he started 1.8 seconds ahead of Chris Meek.
He's probably got about 7 seconds in it now, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you'd assume he's aware of
I'm trying to just...
He's got through the same corner that caught out Meek.
I'm just looking through my notes. What did they do in here this morning? I'm trying to see now. I don't know, I haven't got that written down, but I think as long as Henning gets through without any mistakes, Henning will secure the 3rd place, which, great. I mean, it's been a great battle today between these two.
Yeah.
Henning has been hunted down. Potentially, he could just hold on.
Let's listen to Ilka Minor.
right over crest, 150. Cut max 2 left plus. 150. Flat 6 right plus. 80. Flat cut 6 right minus over crest. 2 flat 6 left. 80. Flat 6 left plus. 200.
Yeah, the stakes really were raised when Loeb went out for this, to make this a podium fight.
2 privateers at the minute on the podium. Podium for potentially, if it all goes well.
Yeah.
He's
Throw it away now, Henning.
God,
This
Henning.
would be his 6th podium finish of his career. It would actually be the 7th for Ilke after her days with Manfred Stoll, so it would mean a lot to both of them after been an up-and-down season for them, but what a great way to finish if they can hold on. Let's have a look at him over the jump. Here
It's
it
been
comes.
a tough couple of years for them, to be fair, hasn't it?
Nice
I mean,
and tidy, yeah. He's going to be
retiring
safe.
in Australia, not retiring, but stopping in Australia when fourth. So you get these events once or twice a year where good privateers can get on the podium, and they've got to take these opportunities. Not far now, let's see what they can do. Meek was a 53-1. Meek was a 53-1. So as long as he's not...
He's safe, he's safe.
That's 3rd place overall. I don't think he'd be bothered about the power stage. 3rd place overall.
Big fist pump for Ilke. She liked that. Great finish for Henning and Ilke Minor.
One time in the life.
She's asking to see what time they got in the power stage as well. They want more. Did they get more points on top of the podium finish? Look at... Yeah, Henning's delighted with that. Great to see a big smile on his face. There's confirmation then. No, Henning's not made it into the point scoring place. Nice and tidy over the jump. Still Ogier, Sordo and Wilson in the top 3 places. 241.3, still the time to beat. The next man in, well, Mads Osberg. I can't imagine we're going to see too many heroics from him, because the next man in is on course to finish the season in exactly the same way he started it, with a 2nd place finish. A remarkable turnaround for the man who'd had his ups and downs in the season, but it's really come on strong in the latter half of 2011. And of course, this could be 2 Norwegians on the podium as well.
It could be. I mean, you look at it. Mads, 2nd in Sweden at the start of the year. Potentially, as long as he gets through these next 4Ks, 2nd here. He's bookended his season pretty well.
Yeah, he has indeed. He's competed in Rally GB 5 times before. He does love these stages. A bit tight over that. It's just getting a bit worrying, some of these ruts. We saw what happened to Chris Meek. I'd hate to see.
He just got sucked in, didn't he, by that rut? Very difficult. It's not an easy job.
Let's see what the reigning Norwegian champion can do in the power stage. Can he trouble that time from Sebastien Ogier?
I don't think he'd be too bothered. I think Ogier, to be fair, has got this pretty secure in the power stage victory. All Mads is really concentrating on, and Jonas is 2nd place on this rally. I mean, privateers getting on the podium is a massive thing in their careers and for their sponsors. We know Mads was struggling all along. He had to have an auction to raise the money to come here, and he's going to repay those people. You know, he wants to be back next year. This result, everyone remembers what happens at the end of a season, not so much the start.
Yeah, exactly. It couldn't have been better timing, really. M-Sport Stobart's Fiesta RS sounding terrific as he blasts his way through the final kilometre or so. Getting close to this big jump. Concentration on Mads' face as Jonas rattles off the notes. Let's watch him over the crest. Nice and tidy again.
I still think Block probably is winning the long jump award.
Both runs through the stage, actually.
Yeah, both runs. Tanak was quicker. Tanak was big in the first run, but Mads is here. Here it is. 2 more corners and another 2nd place finish. It's another great result for Mads, and he's been strong this year. He really has.
Yeah, 2:44-ish. Yeah, he's not going to get big high five between Mads and Jonas there.
2 Norwegians on the podium as well.
Yeah.
And you look at the joy. I mean, we saw it with Henning and Ilke, and then Mads and Jonas. It means so much to these people.
He loves it. 2nd place in Sweden at the start of the year. 2nd place in Wales at the end of the year.
Stobart entry 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah, good point, good point. Osberg, no, he didn't trouble the top 3, just 6th place, but as you say, that won't worry him too much. He is delighted with another 2nd place finish.
Here he is over the jump. Do you see the car as it lands, the suspension, it just takes it all up.
So it's guaranteed that Mini will get some more power stage points, with Sordo safe there in second place. Just remains to be seen what Jari-Matti Latvala can do. If he doesn't push too hard in here, we could see a first ever power stage point for Matt Wilson. He'd be delighted with that on his home event. But at the moment, it's all about this man. Jari-Matti Latvala comes into the final stage with a dominant lead of more than 3.5 minutes after Sebastien Loeb's late retirement. Shame we didn't see that. Fights right the way to the finish.
I don't think Jari will mind.
No. No, I mean, we've seen him.
Malcolm.
He has been one of the he's been one of the stars of the show through the latter half of the season. He did his best to help Mikko Hirvonen to that first Drivers' Championship since 1981 for Ford, but they couldn't quite do that. Heartbreaking for Mikko a couple of days ago, but they do have the consolation here for a first win, if he can hold it together, for Jari-Matti Latvala of this year, and my God, does he deserve a win this season.
Well, Latvala's just been probably the man of the moment for the last 4 or 5 rallies. Absolutely brilliant. Loeb actually saying yesterday, I found a new rival. And he really does fear this guy. He really does. And Jari-Matti saying to me yesterday that maybe now Sebastian's won 8 titles, he's not quite so hungry. But I am. Yeah. And this guy wants to win everything.
Of course he does. And I tell you what, well, it might be an 8th world title for Loeb, but we've seen more than enough in 2011 to know that,
I was thinking the same.
Again. We've seen more than enough in 2011 to know that next year could be something special. Jari-Matti Latvala has been blisteringly quick. Ogier's won several rallies. Mikko is consistent as ever. The pace of the Mini John Cooper works. Next year really could be something special.
Well, obviously, we've got lots of announcements. We were touching earlier about announcements and deals. We're waiting to hear what Ford are going to do. But I tell you what, with Jari-Matti Latvala on your books, for sure, you've got to come back, because this guy can and will win rallies and world championships.
Yeah. He's got 4 wins to date, a couple more corners, and it will become 5 career wins.
10 times in GB, first time here 2002.
Yeah, it takes a special driver to win Rally GB. The likes of Henry Toivonen and Jari's hero. All those years ago, he won, I think, his first rally here, or one of his first rallies in Great Britain. And Jari is clear. That is the 5th career win for Jari-Matti Latvala, his first ever win in Wales Rally GB. He will be delighted with that. We'll wait and see what he could do in the power stage as well, but it's a terrific finish to the year for Jari-Matti and for Ford Abu Dhabi. Great to see them getting a consolation win. Well, there's confirmation he does get 3rd place in the power stage, an extra point. Disappointment for Matt Wilson. He just got knocked out of the places. Ogier, well, he found out now. Look at the delight for Jari-Matti. His first Rally GB victory. He's delighted with that. Ogier takes the power stage win to get a bit of a consolation after a frustrating couple of rallies, but Latvala and co-driver Mika Anttila.
Jari's first win of the year.
Yeah. He's been so close so many times, though.
Well,
he really does
Australia, he conceded pure and simply for the team's benefit.
And you look back at Jordan, all the way back to Jordan, just 1/10 of a second in it. He just got pipped by Ogier. He's had the pace to win, and finally, Jari-Matti Latvala gets the win he deserves. Congratulations from Sebastien Ogier. He's won a few this year, and I'm sure both of these men are going to be winning rallies in the future and fighting for world championships in the future as well.
He is unbelievably fast. Mika Anttila has the wildest ride in rallying, I think. He really does. But it's great, you know what I mean? Ford win the final round.
So there's confirmation of this thrilling finale to the 2011 season. Jari-Matti Latvala wins by 3 minutes 43 seconds from Mads Osberg. Another second-place finish for him. Henning Solberg takes his 6th career podium finish and his first of 2011. Chris Meek just missed out on that first home podium with that small mistake in the power stage, but that's a 4th-place finish for Mini on their home event. Matt Wilson makes it 2 Brits in the top 5 with Oyt Tanak, a fantastic 6th-place finish on his WRC debut. And I believe we can go down to the finish line to speak to Latvala.
Jari, your 10th start, Rally GB, what a way to celebrate.
Yeah, I did all the way. It's honestly, whole year I've been waiting to get that victory, and it took 1.5 years from the last victory. It's been a long, long time to waiting that, and it's been a frustrating time, so it's a great, great way to finish the season 2011.
And one day it might be a Brit, but for the time being, it's a flying Finn. Mind you, Most of the boys over the power stage were flying today. Lots of big air, big leaps. Apart from Chris Meek. See you in a couple of minutes. They might have been a little bit sheepish in Sweet Lamb, but they powered their way to the rally win today. Jari-Matti Latvala is the winner of Wales Rally Great Britain 2011. His first one of the year. Here's the result of the power stage, won by Sebastien Ogier. What a dreadful start to the weekend. What a great end. 3 extra points in the championship standings to him, followed by Danny Sordo. 2 more for him. Jari-Matti Latvala claims the 3rd and final point. Let's see if Sebastien Ogier's cheered up. Here he is, our power stage winner.
Sebastien, congratulations, another power stage win. A long and difficult weekend for you.
Yeah, of course. After our mistake on Thursday, it was a very long rally, but we had to do it to learn all the stages for the future. I'm happy with this power stage. It's a small touch of happiness to finish the season, and now we will try to prepare as hard as we can the next one.
You kept your concentration for the power stage. That must have been difficult.
Yeah, it's never easy. You have only 4 Ks to do our best and to prove your speed. But I'm happy. We have done a good job. Today was good for us.
Okay, and congratulations, Seb.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Sebastien Ogier, power stage winner, and according to many rumours around Wales, the last time we'll see him in a Citroën uniform. But we'll find out. Could be one of the stories on our highlights of day 3 from Wales Rally Great Britain. It comes your way at 10 o'clock tonight. What else have we got in store for you as we catch up on what happened on the last event of the season? The WRC Access All Areas is Friday the 18th of November. Comes along at 9:30 in the evening. Might just have the story to Craig Breen's rally in Wales and his season, and that cheque for €500,000 as well. Do you know, it was kind of, you know what I'm thinking? It was all going according to plan. Chris Meek's coming along. He's only got a second and 0.8 of a second to make up, and then...
It's been one of those rallies though, John, hasn't it? You know, but this here, he didn't do anything wrong. He just caught in on the inside. The front left wheel just dug into that rut. He must have been an inch different to the other line, and oh, really unlucky. I was gutted, really gutted.
His world will have flashed in front of him. And he sat in your seat where you are there, Mark, and talked about the power stage, said how much he wanted to be there, and that was the 10 seconds.
Well, he's done all the hard work, hasn't he? He's worked all the way through today. He's been catching and catching. It went down to that stage and that one corner and that one rut.
And then the punch of the wheel. But, you know, 4th place in a rally where he doesn't have a lot of experience. And he said to me last week, look, you know, it is my home rally, even though I come from Northern Ireland, but I don't really know too much about Wales.
Yeah, well, we had a great race with, there was me, him and Colin did it in 2005. We had a really good battle, but that was his first time ever in a World Rally car.
So then he must be cheered up by that, and he must get a bottle of champagne himself, because he's done well despite that moment.
Yeah, he'll be happy, but at the moment he's not happy. You know, he's just missed out on a podium. I mean, a podium in a World Championship rally and Rally GB, they don't come very easy, and it's going to be very hard to get another one, so he'll be kicking himself there.
Mini ahead of the schedule that they set themselves to have this year, to test, to find out about the car, see what it was good at, see that it wasn't good at, and then come in for the full season next year?
Yeah, I think they've shocked a lot of people. They've shocked themselves. You know, that car has been competitive. You look at it in France, it nearly could have won the rally, you know. It's been excellent. So I just hope they can get the budget together, they can get the manufacturer support together for next year, and, you know, throw in Volkswagen occasionally as well. It's going to be a fantastic season.
Jari-Matti Latvala, happiest man in Wales, does know this event very well, but it's his first win after having a whole season of really rallying for somebody else.
Yeah, and he deserves this, really. He didn't start off so quickly on this event as what we may have thought, but he's driven fantastically, not made any mistakes, and that win is really deserved, especially after the last 4 events when he's been helping his teammate.
So 2011 belongs to Jari-Matti Latvala of Finland and Ford. But the whole season belongs to that man, Sebastien Loeb, again, who has won 67 championship rallies. He didn't win today, but, I mean, he didn't really need to. And we should pay tribute to this man for his genius and what he's achieved.
Incredible.
What has he given us over the years that he's been running?
Well, he doesn't make mistakes. Everything he's done has been right. To win 8 championships, I can't imagine that ever being done again. His style is different to everybody else's. He's changed rallying, I would say, in the way he drives. and just an out-and-out total professional. He's a Schumacher of rallying.
He is, and more some. Let's have a look at the standings at the end of the season as we see the great man speeding off around another corner. This is how it all looks in the championship at the end of the season. Sebastien Loeb wins it by 222 points. Mika Hovinen is the runner-up again. Ogier, the Citroën teammate, in third place. Latvala takes fourth. Petter Solberg fifth. We didn't see him today because, of course, he came out of the rally on Saturday. Mads Osberg sixth. Matthew Wilson finishes in seventh. You won't see Chris Meek in there, but he does take some points from Wales Rally Great Britain. What about the manufacturers? This is how it finishes for 2011. It's won by Citroën Total. Ford Abu Dhabi in second place. M Sport Stobart Ford in third place. We've got an end-of-season review coming up. We can look back over everything that has happened over this season, including all the places where that great man has won, but also the contribution that the Brits have made. Friday, the 9th of December at 10 o'clock in the evening, all the stories from the championship from 2011. But, Matt, it's going to be a good year for the Brits next year.
Yeah, I hope so. You know, we've got I suppose, a British car nearly with the Mini. We've got Chris Meek there. I think it could be really good. Let's
and we
hope they keep it in there.
In Monte Carlo.
Yep.
We move Rally Great Britain to September, and we're going to finish next year in 2012 in Spain, which will mean we'll get a little bit of sunshine at the end, although we did get a little bit of sunshine in Wales Rally Great Britain 2011. It's been fun having you there. That's where it all goes next season. I'll tell you what, we are looking forward to it on ESPN.